This is a Stand Strong exclusive. This is a Stand Strong exclusive.
Alright, so here's a quick unboxing, my first thoughts, and I'm going to show you later on how I use the Boss FS-6 dual foot switch as a remote trigger for my Maschine Studio. Now inside the box, this is pretty much a small box. It's probably the size of like a Nintendo DS. Nothing really to it. It doesn't feel cheap, doesn't feel super heavy. It feels nice and it's a decent build. Pretty springy right here, the A and B switch. There are A and B switches and there's a dual switch in the middle. So if you have something in the middle, you don't want to use A and B per manual because it says you can possibly damage it. You have polarity switches. I leave those as is. And you have two different switches basically for momentary and latch. For the way I'm using it, I leave it in momentary. Latch is basically if you step on the pedal, it stays on and it turns off when you step on it again. Momentary for me is it acts like a trigger, so when you step on it, it activates it, and then as soon as you let go, it's not using battery anymore. So on the back, I'm surprised it actually came with a 9-volt battery inside, and you just plug it all together, lay it in the tray, and pretty much just close it, and you're pretty much done. So next, I'm gonna show you how I just pretty much plug this is an adapter plug, so this is not the correct one. But as soon as I plug it in, you see the power light comes on. It recognizes it. Now, I don't know if it's just these particular cables or what, but when I actually plug in my quarter inch to quarter inch plugs into it, the power button doesn't illuminate like that. It actually doesn't stay lit at all. Well, it's actually very dim, and the A and B buttons light up when you hit it, but you'll see that a little later on. But I will say that when I turn my Maschine Studio off, the power button and all the buttons don't illuminate anymore, so it's not burning battery as far as I know, so you don't have to unplug anything from burning battery or anything like that. So you plug this into the A and into the B slot, and then you plug it into the 1 and the 2 slot in the Maschine Studio. By default, the left pedal, which is A, which I plug in 1, will be record. I pretty much just flip-flop them. I want A to be play and B to be record. So as you can see, as I'm hitting it, you'll see that it's illuminating play and record on the Maschine Studio. The Complete Control and the Maschine Jam also have a foot switch port, but those can be programmed, I believe, for different things as well, but you only have one. This one on here by default, I don't know if you can change it, but it's play and record. And for my personal use, and maybe somebody else's, I am pretty amateur when it comes to playing keys. And what happens is when I have an idea, since I don't know the keyboard that well, I tend to kind of get in the groove and find something that I kind of like, and then I'll play it over and over, and my hands are in position. And as soon as I take my hands off position to go hit play, record, or whatever it is, I go right back and try to hurry up and catch it, and I can never, but a good majority of the time I can't get it how I had it or what I played a second ago. So what this can do is you hit play with your foot switch, and then as it's playing, you keep practicing. As soon as you get it, you keep your hands in position, and then when you get it, you wait for it to loop around and hit the record button with your foot, and then you just play. And so you have a better chance of basically keeping the groove or the idea that you had if you're a person like myself, or maybe you're more trained and you still go through these obstacles. I have no idea, but just somebody who's like myself who doesn't know the keys that well, kind of play by ear. And like I said, if you have an idea, you want to capture it and you may mess up. The only thing I wish it did have, which would be nice, I think you can actually link more than one of these together. I'm not sure how that works, but if you were to actually have a button that would restart the loop or whatever it is you're doing, that would be nice. But the way I have this set up is you have this chance to record something. If you mess up, you're going to have to take your feet off or record over what you did, but you kind of have to let it loop over if you want to start from the beginning. There's no way to start it over as far as I can tell without removing your actual hands from the unit or the keyboard and your feet and start all over. So I don't know. That's how I use it. Somebody recommended it to me, and I think they actually saw somebody else do it. It might have been with Maschine Studio. I know it's some kind of Maschine product, and they told me about it. And there's a couple different options out there. Build quality is decent. You can get it from any music retailer or maybe even online, Amazon, who knows. But it's like I said, people use it for different reasons. This is why I want it as a remote controller type of device. It retail for about $60, another $10 for maybe the cables, and it's a good deal. And basically, if you're falling in my position of how I'm using it, I can see how this can be very helpful to certain people. So if this is helpful at all, please hit like and subscribe, or visit www.howtoandreviews.com. Till next time.